Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked around your home and felt like it's holding on to parts of your past that no longer serve your present? Not in big, obvious ways, but in small, quiet ways that slowly add up. A drawer that's always jammed, shelves full of things you forgot you had, stuff that once made sense, but now just sits there, taking up space. After 60, life changes. What we need, what we care about, it all shifts. But too often, our homes stay stuck in an earlier season of life. And without even realizing it, that clutter starts to weigh us down, not just physically, but emotionally. This video isn't about tossing everything out. It's about making space for peace, for clarity, for ease. You've earned the right to live in a home that supports who you are now. So let's walk through 15 things you might no longer need. Not to let go of the past, but to make more room for what matters most today. Let's begin. Number 1. What are you really plugged into? Let's start in a place most of us avoid. The drawer full of old electronics. You know the one. Tangled cords, dead batteries, maybe even a flip phone from 15 years ago. It started as a spot for backups, just in case, but over time, it became a tech graveyard. And the truth is, most of what's in there doesn't help you. It slows you down. Those outdated chargers, mystery remotes, and phones with no power cords don't just take up physical space. They add mental clutter too. Every time you dig through that drawer looking for something useful, you're reminded of how frustrating it's become. And if we're being honest, how many times have you ended up buying a new cable just because you couldn't find the right one? Now imagine that drawer again, but this time it's simple. Just one charger, the phone you actually use, a flashlight that works. Nothing extra, nothing outdated. Just tools that make your day easier, not harder. Letting go of old electronics doesn't mean giving up on staying connected. It means choosing to stay connected in a way that feels clean, calm, and current. Recycle what's broken. Donate what still works. And keep only what supports the life you live today. Because your time, your patience, and your space are far too valuable to waste on things that no longer serve you. Number 2. From craft closet to emotional closet. Let's talk about the hobbies you once loved, or maybe still wish you did. Inside a cabinet or tucked in the back of a closet, you might have stacks of scrapbook paper, unopened yarn, dried up paintbrushes, or half-finished projects you promised yourself you'd get back to. They once brought joy, creativity, and purpose. But now, for many of us, they quietly sit there whispering, "You never finished this." And that whisper can turn into guilt. But here's something you need to hear. Letting go of old hobby supplies doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're giving up on creativity. It simply means you're making space for the version of you that exists today. Your interests have evolved, and that's something to celebrate, not mourn. So take a moment. Look through those shelves, those drawers. What still excites you? What do you actually want to use now? Not 10 years ago? Keep those. Let them shine. And for the rest, pass them along. Schools, churches, and community centers would love to breathe new life into the supplies you've been holding on to, because creativity shouldn't come with guilt. It should feel like freedom. And making space for what truly inspires you now is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself. Number 3. Clothes for a life you no longer live. Open your closet and take a real look. How much of what's hanging there actually fits the life you live today? There might be suits from a job you retired from years ago, dresses you wore to events that no longer happen, shoes you haven't dared to wear since your knees started to ache. And yet they stay. Why? Because they represent something, who you once were, who you hope to be again, or just a habit of holding on. But here's the truth. You don't need a closet full of what-ifs. You need a space that supports who you are now. A wardrobe that feels easy, comfortable, and true to your everyday life. Not 100 options that no longer fit your body or your rhythm, but a handful of pieces that make you feel good every time you put them on. A simple rule can help. If you haven't worn it in the past year and it doesn't feel good when you try it on, let it go. There is no shame in releasing clothes from another season of life. In fact, it's freeing. Someone else could feel confident in that very jacket or dress you no longer reach for. You deserve a closet that gives you peace of mind, not a pile of decisions every morning. Let it reflect your present, not your past. Number 4, shelves that should breathe, not suffocate. Books and magazines are a comfort for many of us. They're companions through quiet mornings and long evenings. But over time, even the most beloved shelf can become overrun, filled with yellowing paperbacks, decades-old health guides, and magazines stacked just in case you want to reread them. The truth is, most of those pages haven't been touched in years, and while they may have meant something once, now they often just take up space and gather dust. Holding on to every book you've ever owned doesn't make you wise. It makes it harder to see the ones that still move you. So here's a gentle shift. Keep the titles that still speak to you, the ones you reach for without thinking, the ones that bring comfort, laughter, or inspiration. Everything else? Consider donating it to your local library, a senior center, or a family starting their own collection. This isn't about getting rid of books. It's about honoring the ones that still matter. When you clear the clutter, your shelves can breathe again, and so can you. A small, simple shelf with stories you truly love is more powerful than a packed bookcase filled with noise. Number 5, the case of the 5 spatulas. Let's head into the kitchen for a moment. Open that drawer, the one with all the tools. How many spatulas are in there? Vegetable peelers? Measuring cups? Over the years, it's easy to collect extras. A new one because the old one was almost broken. A backup in case the favorite one disappeared. Then another one, just in case. But here's what really happens. Instead of feeling prepared, we feel buried. You open a drawer and dig through a pile of tools just to find the one you always use. The backups get in the way. They don't make life easier. They make it messier. Simplifying doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're choosing ease over excess. Keep the version that works best. If you use 2 of something regularly, keep both. But if you always reach for the same whisk, the same spatula, the same measuring spoon, those are the ones that deserve a place in your kitchen. The rest? Donate them. Pass them on to someone starting out. You're not losing anything by letting them go. You're gaining a kitchen that works with you, not against you. Because at this stage in life, cooking should feel like comfort, not chaos. Number 6, your pantry isn't a war zone. Take a moment and think about your pantry. Are the shelves packed with cans you forgot you bought? Boxes of pasta, jars of pickles, paper goods in bulk, all stacked high just in case? Years ago, stocking up made sense. It was part of running a full house, cooking for family, staying ready for anything. But those days may be behind you now, and the habit stuck around longer than the need. The trouble is, those bulk items take up more than space. They can overwhelm your kitchen, strain your body when lifting or reaching, and often expire before they're ever used. And instead of creating comfort, they create clutter and stress. Now imagine something different. A pantry that's simple and calm. Just what you need for the next week or 2. Clear shelves, visible items, no mystery cans or toppled over stacks. Grocery delivery and automatic refills make it easier than ever to stay stocked without overfilling. And a small checklist on the fridge can take the pressure off remembering everything. Letting go of the habit of overstocking doesn't mean giving up preparedness. It means trusting that your life today doesn't need to look like the version from 20 years ago. Your kitchen should support ease, not emergencies. Number 7, when cooking feels like a chore instead of a joy. Let's stay in the kitchen a little longer, this time to talk about all those unused gadgets. Maybe you have a waffle maker from decades ago, an avocado slicer someone gave you, or a yogurt machine you used once and never touched again. They all seemed like great ideas at the time, but now they sit in drawers and cabinets, quietly taking up space. As we get older, the way we cook often changes. We lean into simplicity, fewer steps, fewer tools, and meals that bring comfort without complication. And the truth is, you probably don't need 20 gadgets to cook something wonderful. You need just a few that work well, feel good in your hands, and get the job done. So ask yourself, what do you actually use when you cook? Maybe a sharp knife, a sturdy pot, your favorite pan. Keep those close, and let the rest go. Donate them. Give them to someone just starting out. Let them be useful again in someone else's kitchen. Because cooking at this stage should feel like ease, like freedom, like a part of your day that brings joy, not one that overwhelms you before you've even started. Number 8, more chairs, less room. Now let's take a walk through your living room or dining area. Look around. How much of the furniture in your space do you actually use? Maybe there's a recliner with a broken lever, a dining table that seats 10, though you mostly eat alone, or a side chair that serves more as a laundry rack than a seat. These pieces might hold memories, or they might simply be things you've always had. But if they're no longer serving you, they might be standing in your way. Extra furniture doesn't just take up space, it can make moving around harder, even unsafe. Narrow walkways, sharp corners, heavy pieces that no longer match how you live day to day. And yet we hold on, often for emotional reasons, or the thought that someday we might need it again. But here's the shift. What if your home only held the furniture that truly fits your life now? A table that suits your daily rhythm. A chair that's easy to get in and out of. Open space to move freely and safely. That's not downsizing, it's right-sizing. And if you're holding on to pieces that carry meaning, consider taking a photo of them, writing down the story they hold, and passing them on to someone who will use and love them. When your home reflects who you are today, every room feels lighter, clearer, and more yours. Number 9, too much of a good memory. Now, take a look at your shelves, your mantels, the little corners of your home where memories tend to gather. Trinkets from vacations, souvenirs from family events, gifts from people you love. At one point, every piece told a story, but over time, they start to blur together. And instead of bringing comfort, they bring clutter. This isn't about getting rid of everything. It's about letting the most meaningful things shine. When every shelf is crowded, nothing really stands out. But when you choose just a few special items to display, things that still make you smile every time you see them, your home begins to breathe again. Try this. Pick 3 to 5 decorative pieces that truly matter to you. Give them space. Let them be seen. The others? You can rotate them out with the seasons, store them neatly, or pass them on to someone who might enjoy them just as much. The memories don't disappear. In fact, they become clearer when they're not buried under visual noise, because your home should be a reflection of the life you love now, not a museum of everything you've ever collected. Number 10. When nostalgia becomes clutter. Somewhere in your home, there's probably a box, or maybe several, filled with sentimental items. Old letters, faded photographs, souvenirs from trips. Maybe a child's drawing or a wedding program from decades ago. Every piece holds a memory, a moment. But when everything is saved, it becomes harder to see what's truly special. We often tell ourselves we'll go through it someday, but someday turns into years. And slowly, that box of memories starts to feel less like comfort and more like weight, emotional and physical. Here's a gentle truth. You don't have to keep everything to keep the meaning. Choose a few items that still touch your heart. Frame a favorite photo. Place one letter where you'll actually read it. Tell the story of an item in a voice recording to share with your family. And for the rest, consider scanning, digitizing, or passing them on to someone who will appreciate their history. Letting go isn't forgetting. It's making room. Room to honor the memories you value most, and room to live fully in the present, without the burden of what you'll get to eventually. Number 11. What's hiding in your cabinet? Take a look inside your bathroom cabinet or medicine drawer. What do you see? Maybe bottles you can't remember the purpose of, creams you haven't used in years, or prescriptions long past their expiration date. It's more common than you think. Many of us keep medications and products just in case, but over time, that habit can become risky. Expired pills may lose their effectiveness, or worse, they might interact dangerously with new prescriptions. Old ointments and skincare products can irritate aging skin or even grow bacteria. And beyond health concerns, a cluttered cabinet just makes everyday routines harder. Here's a simple shift that brings real peace of mind. Go through your medicine cabinet 4 times a year, once each season. Check expiration dates. Get rid of anything you no longer use, anything unrecognizable, or anything expired. Many pharmacies offer safe disposal programs for old medications. Don't flush them. Ask your pharmacist what's best. Then organize what's left, your current prescriptions, the daily products you use, and a few well-chosen extras. Suddenly, your mornings start with ease, not confusion. Because a clean cabinet isn't just about space, it's about safety, clarity, and caring for yourself with intention. Number 12. Too many towels. Not enough tranquility. The bathroom is one of the smallest rooms in the house, but it can quickly become one of the most cluttered. Open a drawer or cabinet, and you might find stacks of old towels, half-used bottles of lotion, decorative soaps still in their wrapping, and enough backup toothpaste to last a decade. At first, it seems harmless, but slowly, it builds into something that feels overwhelming. Too many items in a small space don't just crowd the shelves, they crowd your peace. You find yourself moving things just to wipe down the counter. Rugs slip underfoot, drawers jam. And what should be a quiet, simple routine becomes a series of little frustrations. But it doesn't have to be that way. Keep only what you truly use, your favorite towels, the bath mat that doesn't bunch up, and the products you reach for daily. 1 or 2 of each is enough. The rest? Donate extra linens to a local shelter. Recycle empty containers. Let go of the things you're saving for someday guests who rarely come. Because your bathroom should feel like a retreat, not a storage closet. Sometimes the most meaningful self-care isn't about what you add. It's about what you're finally ready to let go of. Number 13. Letting go of boxes, keeping the magic. Somewhere in the attic, the basement, or a back closet, there are probably bins stacked high with holiday decorations, labels that read Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, maybe even Halloween. At one time, pulling those out was a joyful ritual, but now they often stay right where they are, unopened, untouched, quietly waiting for a celebration that never quite arrives. Over the years, our relationship with holidays changes. The gatherings get smaller, traditions shift, and while the meaning stays, the energy it takes to decorate often doesn't. Climbing ladders, untangling lights, hauling heavy boxes, it starts to feel more like a chore than a joy. But here's the beautiful part. Letting go of some of those decorations doesn't mean letting go of the season. In fact, it often brings the spirit back into focus. Keep the angel your grandchild made in preschool, the menorah you've lit for decades, the one ornament that always makes you smile. Let those pieces take center stage. The rest? Consider donating them to families just starting their own traditions, or to senior centers where a little festive sparkle could brighten someone's day. You're not discarding memories, you're passing them forward with love, because the holidays aren't in the decorations. They're in the warmth, the music, the stories, and the people around you. When you clear the clutter, there's more space for the parts that truly matter. Number 14. from motivation to guilt pile. Take a look in your garage, under the stairs, or in the back of your closet. Is there a tennis racket you haven't touched in years? A golf bag collecting dust? Maybe a treadmill that now holds jackets instead of workouts? We all have good intentions. We buy equipment in a moment of motivation, or we keep it thinking we'll get back to it someday. But here's the truth. Unused gear doesn't inspire activity. It adds guilt. Every time you pass it, there's that little voice saying, "You should be using this." And instead of feeling encouraged, you feel weighed down. It doesn't have to be that way. Staying active after 60 doesn't mean pushing yourself to extremes. It means finding movement that fits your body and your life today. Maybe it's daily walks with a friend, gentle stretches in the morning, or light weights you keep nearby. That's enough. That's more than enough. So keep the equipment that supports the way you move now. Let go of the rest. Sell it, donate it, or pass it on to a grandchild just getting started. Because the real goal isn't owning gear, it's feeling good, staying mobile, and enjoying how you move through each day. Number 15, a shed of pressure or a corner of peace. Let's step outside for a moment, into the garage, the shed, or maybe just that small corner where the gardening tools live. Do you still garden the way you used to? For many of us, it was once a weekend joy. Planting, pruning, digging in the dirt. But as time passes, the energy changes. And the tools, shovels, pots, tangled hoses, often remain long after the habit fades. What starts as a hobby can slowly become a source of quiet pressure. You walk past the rusted tools and think, maybe one day. But those maybe one days can become a weight you carry without even realizing it. So let's shift that. What do you actually use now? Maybe it's a hand trowel for your patio plants, a watering can for herbs by the window. That's enough. That's more than enough. Keep the tools that match your current rhythm. Let the rest go. Donate them to a community garden, a school program, or a neighbor who's just getting started. Because gardening doesn't have to look the way it used to. It can be small, peaceful, and perfectly suited to where you are now. Decluttering that space isn't saying goodbye to gardening. It's giving yourself permission to enjoy it on your own terms. So take a moment. Look around your home, not with judgment, but with honesty. What are you holding on to that no longer fits the way you live today? What's quietly taking up space, energy, or peace? Decluttering isn't about getting rid of everything. It's about keeping what matters. It's about creating a space that reflects who you are now, not who you were 20 years ago, and not who you thought you had to be. Just you, right now, clear, calm, grounded. Every item you release is a gift you give yourself. More freedom, more breathing room, more ease in your everyday life. And that's what this stage of life should be about. Making room for what truly brings comfort, clarity, and joy. So here's your moment. What's the first item you're ready to let go of? Just one. Say it out loud, or better yet, share it in the comments. You never know who might be inspired by your story. And if this video helped you feel just a little lighter, a little more in control of your space and time, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to join this community of thoughtful, wise seniors who are choosing to live with less and feel more because of it. You've still got so much to give, but you don't need to carry everything to do it. Take care of yourself and take care of your space.